Вітаю, друзі! І цей брифінг присвячений викриттю чергової порції брехні та пропаганди.
Greetings, friends. This briefing is dedicated to exposing another portion of lies and propaganda, and I would like to start with Medvedev's statement. This man who once ruled Russia for 4 years and even participated in the G8 summits, which had the format back then, now is resorting to primitive blackmail. He is again threatening the world with nuclear war, realizing that Russia has no other arguments left. It's getting closer. Medvedev said a nuclear war is coming over Crimea. According to him, the West's consent to the armed forces of Ukraine's strike on Crimea allows Russia to act against everyone and everything in NATO. What is this? This is an attempt to once again intimidate Ukraine's partners into not providing Ukraine with the weapons it needs to deoccupy our lands. Medvedev's words are supported by a deputy from Russia's ruling party, a certain Andrei Gurulev, who said that the village of Robotyne is an ideal place for the use of tactical nuclear weapons, which is another threat with a nuclear bomb. They are all gathered there. It is just perfectly simple to hit there, so that would be the end for that offensive group. What does this mean? If they threaten to drop a nuclear bomb on Robotyne, it indicates that for them the loss of this settlement, which was liberated at the cost of the lives of Ukrainian soldiers, is extremely high, and it opens new way for the deoccupation of southern Ukraine. But it also indicates that nothing has been achieved on the battlefield by Russia if they resort to such primitive blackmail. Another special operation conducted by Russia, imitating a message on social networks from the mobile operator Kyivstar, is a complete lie as well. Allegedly, the mobile operator called to send a text message, saying 400,000 heroes will never answer the phone once again to the fallen Ukrainian military. This is allegedly said in the message and indicated that 400,000 Ukrainian soldiers had died. This absolutely primitive Russian fake operation was denied by Kyivstar itself. The company denies the existence of such a campaign and video. The information that Kyivstar calls for sending text messages to the numbers of the fallen soldiers is unreliable, fabricated, and aimed at deliberately causing suffering to the relatives of the victims and causing a public outcry. Of course, this, like everything else Russia does, is fake. Let's go further and see the fake message on the Telegram channel Putin in Telegram that says Poland has started extraditing 2 Ukrainian men of military age who left the country after the start of the Russian special operation, as Russians called the war. This information is simply a lie that does not reflect reality. The same manipulation is seen in a Russian state media RussiaToday publication, which quotes that they claim is a publication in the respectable magazine The Atlantic, where this magazine allegedly predicts that NATO could collapse by 2025 because of disagreements over Ukraine. If Trump or another Republican wins the presidential election, Washington will stop supporting Kyiv, so European leaders should prepare for the White House to destroy NATO. This is what the Russian propagandist media RussiaToday claims in an article in The Atlantic magazine. If you look at the article itself, the above quote is just one paragraph from a huge text discussing a variety of scenarios in the world. And the summary of this publication, of course, Russian propagandists did not want to quote because it is completely out of their line. The author writes, "I hope that these scenarios mentioned above will not materialize, and the election of a pro-NATO and pro-Ukrainian US president in 2024 should be enough to lead Ukraine to a military victory and a peace agreement that will provide for Ukraine's accession to NATO, which will lead to security on the continent." That is, these are the conclusions of the publication, not that nonsense that Russian propagandists quote as one of the scenarios. But their propaganda machine doesn't stop at anything. There is another fake that is difficult to comment on without a smile. So, Lieutenant General of the Russian Army, Viktor Sobolev, made a statement on the Telegram channel called Putin in Telegram. After the victory in the special military operation, it is possible to move the capital of Russia to Kyiv. This is necessary to eradicate Nazism. This statement, of course, might have frightened someone a year and a half ago, but statements about Kyiv captured in 3 days have already become a meme, even probably for the Russians themselves. Moreover, these statements from the Russian military cannot impress anyone, especially in Ukraine. We are one people, this Russian says. We need to prove this to people with all our history and truth. There was Kievan Rus, then the capital was moved to Novgorod, to Moscow, then to St. Petersburg, and now it is Moscow again. And it is time to make Kiev the capital again, he says. Of course, we are not one nation, and this fact is simply a trick on the nostalgia of Russian citizens who are increasingly asking questions about what is happening with 3 days special operation to capture Kiev. The message published by the same Putin Telegram channel is a fake. Ukrainian children are being sold for sex slavery and organs on the dark net. The cost is 30,000 euros. Of course, this is a lie, and it's very easy to prove it, because these publications are made on the illegal darknet network, so anyone can manipulate and falsify them without any responsibility. Meanwhile, in Russia itself, we are already seeing a crisis in the genre of fake news, not only in the informational field, but also in the manufacturing as well. After the global brands left this market, they started inventing their own and started selling a brand called Abibas. Russian propagandists report that a Moscow entrepreneur filled the application to the Federal Service for Intellectual Property for registration of this trademark. Of course, like everything else produced by Russia, this is a fake. I will wrap up this briefing with the traditional call not to trust propagandists and liars. If you live outside of Ukraine and prefer to know news in English, watch the UATV channel. If you want to follow the news in Russian, there is Freedom TV channel. Trust the official Ukrainian media, as well as the Ukrainian military and political leadership. See you.